Right, we're back. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We're gonna have the atomic lifestyle end screen. It's, well, not the atomic era end screen instead of the industrial era. Though, admittedly, I haven't even done the Renaissance one yet. After all, I did the medieval one fairly recently, so. Food, no, okay, that's production. Fine. It's high though. You're fine to grab that. Not the movie theater though, that is something else entirely. Oh, and build the hot potato. No reason not to. Same with writing school, to be honest, and the Jewish temple, and the Gauge. They're all just very quick to build buildings, so. Tin smelter, chariot workshop, a truck shipping warehouse. I'll wait on any further construction in Matautu. After all, I'm gonna be gunning for more. Hmm. Are we sure of that? Wasn't it uncertain whether he actually managed to get to the New World or not? But speaking of people that got to the New World, beyond the very obvious, you know, um, Native Americans that got there, oops, ages ago. Well, that's the Bolshoi Theater built. Um, okay. Should have paid attention on whether or not I needed to press the enter key because that closed the window. But speaking of which, uh, beyond, the Native Americans, which obviously got there before any other humans, and any attempt to argue otherwise will get you laughed at from me. Okay. Guild Hall, then Levy, then Cottage Industry. Steam Crane... Have I unlocked the modern crane yet? No. I might unlock the parts plant by the time I can... Yeah. Well, I might unlock the parts plant storage. Beyond the Native Americans. Okay, so there's the Chinese theater. That gets me a free movie theater in every city. But yeah, beyond the Native Americans, and, the Vikings, which everyone knows about. Nowadays, anyway. remove the swamp here. There was also, before, you know, Columbus's voyage, potentially that Malian emperor that was mentioned. The thing is, there's no real evidence of it, so he might have just, you know, just got lost at sea and died there. We don't actually know all too much about it. Okay, you also need a hospital. Okay, you've built the modern offices. Good. That means I can build the construction firm now. Although I probably will build the traction engine workshop first because of the sheer amount of production that provides. You should have electricity. This gets you to 16, so it's reasonable to build that. That's a good amount. Okay. I think for now this combination's reasonable. Okay, build railroad. And there's also a decent chance that Basque fishermen managed to find Newfoundland in the late 1300s. Yeah, that's a fun one. I think there is some evidence for that in actuality, at least more so than the Malian one. Eh. I don't know much about it, honestly, so. There isn't much of a point to improving tiles that are outside of reach, so, of any of the cities. Until I can ascertain that, yes, they will stay out of reach of any cities. Once I can actually go ahead and do that, then fine, I understand. But until then, yeah. Foundry, levy. Well, the foundry will unlock some new buildings for me. Quite a few, in fact, including the guild hall. Give me 20 production. At less of a price than the guild hall. No, not the guild hall, the levy. And there's this thing, the traction engine workshop, which costs more. Okay. So the real play is to build a foundry so that I can build that and other stuff too. Railroad. In fact, I'm in the process of getting control time lapse uploaded. I definitely should double check to make sure that there's no issues with the music itself. You know, copyright stuff and all that. It's not really necessary, but it would be preferable to know now rather than later. Okay, hospital built. Mathematics department. Build all this nonsense. Okay, so there is... those roads need to be built. Okay. Nah. I'm gonna have new buildings set up soon enough. Even if industrialism doesn't get me some good stuff, then the tax after industrialism definitely will. Actually, wait, you know what? I'll take a moment. No issues. Good. Okay. Nothing there. Just that. And nothing else. Okay. You know what? I'll wait on it. I already have that resource, so... definitely building a lumber mill. Source of tin ore? Up here. Okay. Oh, neat. Garage. Mathematics department on asphalt roads. Let's get some more food set up. Beyond the basics. Yeah, I'm gonna say any further, I want to wait on tech, see where it goes. Still odd that this tile is outside of my influence. It's one of the few tiles left on this continent that is like that. Left on Mononesia. Oh well. Anything of interest? Not really. Just build infrastructure. Why is there a jungle here? Since when was there a jungle here? And the music restarts. To be, in a word, unboreable. It is the key to modern life. If you are immune to boredom, there is literally nothing you cannot accomplish. Hmm. Unlocks another tier of education and tourism. And I get one of these texts for free. It recommends industrialism, and to be honest, yeah. Yeah. Smart idea. Going to go for advanced metallurgy in order to get that parts plant as soon as possible. Still going to take 11 turns, but I'll also get these advanced copper and iron works, which will merge together the copper and smiths and smelters, as well as the iron and steel smiths and smelters. And you know, it makes titanium workable, just like how industrialism did aluminum. Aluminum. Alululululu. Okay, plastics after that is a good idea because, you know, rope factory. After that, maybe electronics? And Susong's workshop. Mmm. Mmm. No, not so sure. Library of Nineveh. Well, I don't need the tablet makers anymore, so. Yeah, let's do that for now. I can figure it out later.
There is one rule for the industrialist, and that is make the best quality of goods possible at the lowest cost possible, paying the highest wages possible.
Why do I get the odd feeling that you never really followed the last one? uh, Ford has a very annoying habit of taking the things that, you know, the unions, what the unions of his workers worked to obtain, and pretending it was his idea the whole time. Bear in mind, he was also ardently anti-union as well, so even more fun. Okay, I forgot to build that, so. Okay, the Pioneer's built. Oh, bauxite ore right here. That's fun. Okay, I have to have a hero unit, right? Yeah, one here and one here. Mungo Man it is. Okay, I just want to make sure they... Because I know for a fact that I'll have access to aluminum soon, because apparently the capital's built right on top of a deposit of bauxite. So once the auto build nearby resources is finished, completed, etc. Yeah. I just need to make sure that I get something that costs a reasonable amount. Kerosene distillery. Okay, sure. I can't find anything that's much better except maybe a mattress store. You know, fine. Yeah, that's less than 4,000, so. And I could do another Musketman Settler combo later. It's not 100. It's not even 100k gold. Alofi's a great spot for one of these achievements. Medical? I mean, been having medical issues lately, so agricultural could even more gross. Sure. 4% food in all cities. Okay. Yep. Bauxite, berlinite, nickel. Although I'm just going to do bauxite. Okay, yeah. Just bauxite for now. Because I do need to have... Uh, I do want the aluminum smelter and smith. Once I have a smelter, I can build a smith in every city. The smelter requires a mine, which means it needs to be locally available. Which is not the easiest thing. Okay, build a railroad. Okay, now that you have both of these. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to just continue the colonization of well, Neonesia's boot, basically. It just looks like an exaggerated version of, you know, southern Italy. I mean, look at this and tell me this doesn't look like a giant foot. I think it's time for me to start. Yeah. I'll have those two start working their way to the future location of the new city. Get those groves out of the way. Because they're one turn, I'm going to build them right away anyway. After all, they're just one turn. So I can get that production immediately. And then also build hot potato. Any further production in Constantinople can wait until later. I don't see anything of particular interest that needs to be built here. Neat. Not even any seawalls. Okay. I'm gonna build an ammunition factory here. Just so that I have the ammunition available. I don't want to parse that list currently, especially with how the list is going to end up adjusted for multiple reasons. You know what, just keep doing your thing. It's reasonable enough. Oh, nice. Look at that. A watermill and a hydro dam on the same little spot. Oh boy. That looks very silly, doesn't it? Okay, let's replace this with a mine. Is there anything else around here that can be... Okay, so I can mine this tile now. Could probably mine that tile as well. Oh, neat. Nocturnal inclusion. Turn that into a farm. There's no reason to build the hunter's camp. It just doesn't provide enough positive yield to make it actually worth it. Let's get you some signs out of the way. Some food. Anything further? I want to wait for the parts plant. So that group can build up its production even further. Let's get you that. You need a city college as well. Any food requirements? No, nothing food-wise. So build a hospital as well. Oh boy. I should avoid anything copper-based. Trading post. It's a simple fact that if I haven't built the trading post yet, then I haven't built the engineering school yet. And the engineering school is very, very good. Yep, still outpaces that factory. Wait, is that the new city? Oh. Oh, do I have... Yeah, it looks like the mining... No, that's... It's not brand... Okay. It is new, but not that. Oh, so the plus button means I can... I accidentally hit the plus button instead of the enter key. Huh, fascinating. With any game, you're inevitably going to be learning new keybinds just from accidentally hitting the wrong key. I mean, I can probably bring up the list of keybinds in the options. Okay, no, I can't actually find the list of keybinds here. Ignore this, oh, there. Yeah, you can't exactly adjust the controls. But you can adjust certain things, like, yep. One of the cool things about having square grids is that you can actually map these things to your numpad. The game does so automatically. Let me turn off that keybind help. Numpad help. Okay, and now it's time for you to head back home. Okay, you're always first, and then this, and then this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, maybe wait on the mathematics department, because after all, the aluminum will become available reasonably soon, and the parts plant probably even sooner than that. Okay, Guildhall is an extremely productive building. The cottage industry should have the same amount of production, and the traction engine workshop almost has the same amount. The levy provides more. Okay. And there's a sort of, because of how the levy works, it increases the tiles, which means that the plus percentage affects that and is affected by that. So the earlier I build it, the better, sort of. It's always fun when things... It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Positive feedback loop? Yeah, positive feedback loop. It's a young forest. Okay, I'm not building anything here outside of the railroad. Okay, now to get all the... I'm gonna avoid that. I'm a long ways from the metals megaplex, so it's reasonable to build all of these. Including the copper mine. Wait. Okay. That's cement mill. Yeah, it should be a reasonable queue for the time being. Yes, I am building this city on a mountain. I know this is normally illegal, but C2C makes this possible. Okay, you need the mining camp. Oh, shut up. And it looks like you have just enough, yeah, based upon these numbers, you have just enough production to build these right away, so, yeah, not sure. Since it only costs, no, I mean, this is 150, so, yeah, fine. Build those first. You're fast enough to be able to handle it fairly reasonably well. Ah. Yeah, with Atomic Air, the lumber mill looks different now. It's got a different model to it. Looks like a tiny little factory now. Instead of just a fairly generic looking wooden building. Yeah, let's build a dam here. Okay, smelter aluminum. Then once I have, then I can build the smith aluminum in order to unlock aluminum wares, which does a lot of stuff. I mean, most of these are already unlocked by other things, but these allow me to get a lot of planes and tanks and whatnot, combat vehicles. So that's going to be my focus for the capital, getting those things on in. Okay, mathematics department, and then some of these basic things. Distillery. Yep. Okay. That's an easily enough turns, so I'm going to just lower that. Want to build a watermill? Okay. Math department, the nets, and the farmer's market should be enough put together to keep the city occupied for the 4 turns that it takes for advanced metallurgy to be done. Well, nothing better to do with a tile. Desert camp it is. Yeesh. That's what happens when you have one or two ships hunting sea life. It tends to collect in a couple cities. Any city big enough for fish pens that don't have fish pens yet? Ah, Garapan, okay. I didn't mention last time that I would talk about propaganda once the tech is researched, but yeah, I'm sticking with that. I am not going to forget about it either. Because at the very least, the tech itself should remind me, oh yes, this feels like something I would like to talk about. Okay, nothing here. Food-wise, no. Science. Buddhist monastery. Okay. Temple. Yeah, I don't think the city produces enough production in order for it to be overly difficult, you know, in order to make the queue finish up again. At least not that quickly. Is there anything that I really could use? I'm gonna save the Gateway Arch for Neo-Nietzsche. Because there's just easily going to be way more cities over there. Maybe I should check the cheaper stuff. Central Breeders. Build a bunch of those. Bird enclosure. Taxidermist, I guess. Yeah, naval combatants are not on the list. Great. I remember that. Oh, let's produce your collateral damage taken. Advanced Ironclad. What's your base movement? 5. Ooh, that gives me an extra movement point. I'll take it. After I control you and do a bit of hunting. Gotta make sure that the turn is fully used. It's just efficient that way. Okay, it's not really necessary, but I had the opportunity to take over for a moment, and make sure that happened, so may as well. I may as well. Birds. I was hoping for more. Okay, what gets me cash? I think a pharmacy is down the line, so. Parking meters! What could possibly go wrong? Actually, if I just do the yoga school, then I can just spend the turn and then focus on getting the new buildings out of the way. Alright, fish pens.
In other parts stood one who, at the forge laboring, 2 massy clods of iron and brass had melted.
Another thing about the new age is that tech's going to be slower, so I can't get techs in under 10 turns. Not for a while. It's gonna take some building up before I can manage that again. Yep, there's the parts plant. Works and ironworks. Oh, neat. There's some here. Over here. Yep, I've already got it mined. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the copper works are going to provide a lot more in most cities, simply because because iron provides 2 production. The iron buildings provide 2 production each. Same to the steel buildings. The copper buildings provide only 1. So, fairly predictably, yeah. So, and because that's only plus 5% production, it is only 8 production. So there are other things that are just better to build here. First. Okay, engineering school. After that, that's one thing that's going to get tricky again. So give me plus 7. I'm gonna get the rope factory unlocked soon enough. Yeah, I think the factory is just better than anything else, all the other options. I think titanium works better than the lumber mill. Well, titanium mining works better than just plain lumber milling, so. Trade Hunter. Aluminum smelter. Smith aluminum requires aluminum ingots. And of course it doesn't work on her. Okay. I'm gonna need to wait for the smelter to produce its ingots. Lovely. Lovely. Just wonderful. No, I'm gonna wait on more than that. Any more than that. Okay, I lose 4 commerce but get 7 production. Of course I'll take it. It's eminently a good deal. A good trade. Asphalt roads. Parts plant. Copper works. Chariot workshop. Aluminum smith. Yep, I can build aluminum smiths now. Good. Yeah, I think farm is the most reasonable option. Okay, parts plant. Bauxite mine. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's copper works. Aluminum smith, bauxite mine. And then I can get an aluminum smelter in the city, which is why I did 100% do the queue. Yeah, ensuring that the parts plant get built, is going to be the focus for a while. Even in the cities that were previously focusing on other things. Okay, seawalls. Parts plant. Advanced copper works. Smith mine, I mean. believe the aluminum smelter costs less than the advanced ironworks. In most cities, because I've already built, you know, steel stuff. Yeah. It's only going to provide me 4 production to actually build the advanced ironworks. Well, since other cities already have that going, so I don't actually need to do that. And I can already tell that titanium isn't in the vicinity of Honolulu. Otherwise, the mine would have popped up by now. I mean, it's been how many turns since I researched advanced metallurgy? Okay, so I'm probably going to do one tech after plastics. The question becomes which one? It probably shouldn't be propaganda for obvious reasons. I don't want to do electronics, whatever that was. Okay, traction engine. Oh. Jainism uses the same one as, well, the same spread sound, for lack of a better term. What's that? Interesting. And then build a tin mine, so I can see the tin smelter. Okay, here's the oil refinery. There's the parts plant, which obviously is better than the hydro plant. Traction engine goes on top. Yeah, it's obviously better. The question becomes, does the parts plant go before the oil refinery? No. Not based on the production costs and the rewards from building these things. Oh, and camps. Sure. No, straw gatherers as well. And canoe builder. Yeah, okay. I think this should be good enough for an initial setup. That's okay. Okay. Ancient customs. Is there anything that's fast enough to justify building it first? Yes. Okay, that's also for production, so these are justified in that, and then build the trading posts so that I can build the engineering school. Because that provides a stupidly high amount of production. Well, okay, it's fairly important. It's not exactly stupidly high now that I think about it. But it is a very, very powerful building. Stupidly high would be a very specific, I think, information era building. One of those nuclear reactors. Because I remember one of them having like plus 80 production. It's either information era or the one after that. Nanotech, I believe, is the name of the era. Okay, modern offices. Oops. Okay, yeah, parts plant first, then this, then this, and then that. Anything more might be affected by plastics. I don't remember. Yeah, plastics doesn't actually do anything, does it, with production buildings? I wonder if... No, it doesn't look like I'll put together enough to get the tech next turn. Seawalls? Neat. Okay. Yep, this. Not near any titanium, so... Oh, that's done. Nice. Okay. Oh. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting plastics next turn. Good.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word. Plastics.
Yep, toy factory, rope factory, and the plastic factory. Also Toy Store. And also the Empire State Building for more trade. Root yield in whatever city I build it in. Plus the offshore platform. Agrochemicals. I already have agricultural engineering. Electronics obsoletes the Susong's workshop, so I'm not interested. Aviation requires actually having flight. Armored vehicles, I already have artillery, so... The problem is that it doesn't actually give me buildings. It's just units, same as trench warfare. Krakatoa. Well, I don't have Krakatoa, so why not? Aircraft-related buildings, sure. Although maybe I need to take a look at future buildings in order to figure out what to do. Physical chemistry just gives me fiberglass, which isn't that interesting. Sonar, early computing. That requires diesel punk, which is over here. And there's computer science. That programming language is very good. Temp production. There's also nuclear power. Plus 15 production from the nuclear plant. Here's atom punk. Of course, yeah. That's quite a ways away. I could also go for the science stuff. You know what, flight, and then I'll have propaganda be the first one, so that I have it. And so at the very least I will remember to immediately talk about it there. Okay, build a mine here. Yeah, with refrigeration, now it's not completely unreasonable to think about settling in the far southern regions. Reaches. Like there. Or there. Or this large section that I still haven't fully explored. Parts plant. Copper works. Oh, this was one of the places that had a copper mine. Smith, whatever. On the other hand, I could... Nah. Nah, it's fine to just take it slow. Though after I build a titanium... You know what? Let's do it in this order. It's slower, but it ensures that I have that I can in fact build a smelter, which no, I don't need to do that. Alright, let's get your production set up. You. Oh, shoot. Should have paid attention. Yeah, once flight is researched, I'll stop the session. Okay. This. There's not much left to do. Okay, just finish these up. I do wonder. Yeah, you've got reasonable disease and crime. It's just this healthiness level that is potentially problematic. Traction engine. I think the coal-fired dynamo is faster. Yeah. Not by a large amount, but it's enough to be notable. However, the wood-fired dynamo is actually faster than the copper. Advanced copper works, so. No. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that one's pretty obvious. Steam crane is also very, very obvious. In fact, it will provide even more production than what it says. I'm uncertain about anything beyond that. You know what? I'm just gonna let it. It's gonna be future me's problem to deal with, and I prefer it that way. Just pass it along. So yeah, fact of the matter is, since I've done the what was it? Drawing time lapse for medieval. That means it's at least a few weeks until I have to do the Renaissance drawing time lapse. It depends on how many episodes there were in medieval. I don't actually know that until I get to that point. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, oh, I guess it's time to prep one of those up. Or I could check ahead of time. That's also a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Once I say that out loud. Okay. I think, yeah. It's a reasonably long queue. I don't want to make it too long because simply of the nature of how these things tend to go. No, just leave it. What are you doing down here? Oh. Rolling Thunder is no longer workable, so instead we've got Shrapnel Shower, which is even more powerful. Doesn't have a rank 4 though. And it gives me 1 extra distance to work with. Excellent. Means I can reach even further. With a ranged assault. It's one of the things I was actually looking for a while. And the upgrades. Ooh, that was a bit closer than I had hoped for, but that's a problem. Okay, this tile's still within reach of Nadi and no other city, so it's definitely gonna go to Nadi. The benefits. It's still weird that the locust form isn't considered an animal but a barbarian. I guess it's a way to prevent it from, you know, being subdued. So I guess in that respect it's reasonable. It still seems a bit odd to me though. Anyway, I'll be getting flight soon and then calling the session. Oh, that's bad. Okay, ship is here. Right, and then turn you into a dreadnought. Oh, that... I did not realize that city could use fish pens. Well, it has them now, so... Still too small, and yeah, all the options are too far away, so... I'm not even going to bother. I mean, Krakatau's just simply out of reach of any cities, so... Unless we get ocean cities. But I don't think C2C has yet... I'm not sure if C2C has figured that one out yet. I mean, Beyond Earth has ocean cities. Which are quite cool, if sometimes a bit impractical. Although there's very little that is quite as satisfying as getting the achievement for it. For wiping a unit off the board by having a city run into it. Because, oh, that's good. Okay, handle those. Right, no need to build the parts maker because the parts plant exists. But I think the guild hall might be a bit more efficient. Yeah, easily. Traction engine workshop as well. And the levy. In fact, I'll build the levy right after the guild hall is built. You know what? Yeah. And then after that, cottage industry should come up, so no reason not to build it. Or, well, no reason not to wait for it to become available so that I can add it to the queue. Okay, refrigerator factory, sure. And newspapers. I might as well work in the factories that aren't, that for which the goods aren't actually produced yet. It's just a reasonable thing to do. Source of cow. Shark studies. I really should look for any cities that can build the shark studies building. I think I don't have enough of that. Give me a moment. Let me check over here. Yeah, I think I've already built all the possibilities so far, so... Nope. Okay. There we go.
For once you have tasted flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will long to return.
That's a lot of, quite a few hero units enabled. Flight school, fire hangar, airshipping warehouse, airport, aircraft factory, the flak tower, the National Aircraft Museum, plus a bunch of air-related upgrades. And yeah, I think this is a good point to stop for now. Ah. Although I will finish up. Ooh, okay. Um, right, I'm gonna work through the city queues, so I don't have to do this later. There's quite a few of them, apparently. Okay, sure. So, Atomic Era is going to be one of the longest eras, just in sheer quantity of text. So, it's going to be a while before I can get to here. Information lifestyle. It's going to take even longer to get to nanotech. But there's a lot of possibilities to be had here. Okay, so in order to get advanced aviation, I do need to have radar, which is what enables Sentry 2. So I'm going to need to go through electronics and get rid of Susong's workshop at some point. Admittedly, I don't need it that much, but I'm still going to avoid it a little while in order to see what other possibilities there are without needing to do that. Route 66. Encryption and decryption. Maybe. But I've got propaganda up first because, well, it's gonna remind me to talk about it. So, hopefully. I end up don't remembering, yeah. I'm going to be very annoyed at myself after the fact. Unless, of course, I don't feel like talking about it, then, well, that's different. But anyway, I think I've got on long enough. I've plopped a new city over here. And I'm currently trying to deal with the new metals of aluminum and titanium. Progress isn't perfect, but it turns out that Honolulu has always been sitting on some bauxite, so that's neat. Certainly made that bit easier to deal with. And there's titanium in various spots, some of which already had mines on top of them, which is even better. So, huh. I need to still finish up colonizing the rest of this portion of the coastline. As well as, you know, along here. And then I can focus on getting this little peninsula done, as well as this portion over here. Just work my way up this coastline. This portion is just too long for me to effectively make a canal here. I was able to do that here because it was only one thick. I could potentially make it with two, but you can't. I'm not sure if you can, if it's impossible to put two forts together, but I can tell you that if the fort is not along a coastline, same as the city, then it can't be used as a harbor. So you can only really do two long canals. So it is, in theory, possible to do it like along here and along here, but or along here and then along here, or here, like this, but that does not seem like the best use of my resources. Especially since I doubt I'm ever going to have a massive shipbuilding industry along here. Not a massive amount of ship production. Especially since, well, units are going to have limited utility after a while. I think I can start airlifting? Or is that advanced flight? Additionally, once I have jet propulsion, I can build aircraft settlers. Which are very fast. 24 movement, and they can go onto any Terran tile, any Earth plot. So even the oceans. So I can just zoom to wherever I need them to, even, like about as fast as the transport currently moves. Faster than the transport currently moves. It is going to be difficult ensuring that they have protection. But if I can plan it ahead of time, then it's really not a problem at all. Just train a bunch of units, train a bunch of musketeers or whatnot, or whatever I use by that point. Probably infantry. Great War infantry. Have the transport deal with that, or maybe plop a city down and then... I don't know, can I airlift units yet? No, not from the look of it. Probably should do that though. I'm not sure when airlifting's a possibility. It will happen at some point, and allow me to... Well, it might be the airport. May need to build. Sorry about that. I may need to build the airport in order to do that, so... And the destination city might also require having the airport. I should pick a well-developed city to check this. Excuse me. Can I build the airport here? Possibly. I need to find where it is. I see a bunch of air stuff here. There's the airport. Can airlift one land unit per turn? Okay, yeah, I need to have the airport at least in the home city. I need to have aircraft, though. But that's just a factory right here. And we'll get plenty of gold in the process, too. I think the airport, no, it doesn't have any maintenance costs. What is this flight school? The fire hangar does, but I'm sure the other things can fill in. I also need to produce radios at some point. But radios? Factory radios. Oh, I need microchips and transistors? What? Okay, so you can't actually produce radios until you have electronics, despite everything. Game, please. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Yeah, definitely. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.